maybe better than Dahlman in this league. Tyler is one of them. The 25-year-old is a three-time Pro Bowler. I like Dahlman's fit with Ben Johnson's scheme because he's probably a little bit more fluid of an athlete. But Linderbaum is probably better overall and more of a bully in the run game. So, and he's probably going to cost more than Dahlman.
Damn. Linderbaum from the Ravens, right?
Yeah, and they're not going to tag him, and doesn't look like they're going to be able to afford to bring him back.
That's okay. We shall see what the Bears decide to do. This is just one more thing on the plate of Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson. But if they've shown anything the last year, maybe 2 off seasons, they know how to cook.
Let them cook.
We'll talk later about incoming rookies because maybe they can find a rookie that can step right in the center. They found Ozzie Trapillo. Maybe they can find a center. We'll talk more about that in the combine portion of this episode, but let's stick to more NFL news. So you brought up Linderbaum as a potential free agent. There's also the trade market out there that's already getting hot and heavy. There's players who didn't get tagged, Kenneth Walker, to name a few. Our good buddy, King David Montgomery, he got traded yesterday. David Montgomery was traded for 3 picks and a player.
That is crazy to get that for a veteran running back.
It is crazy to get that for a veteran running back, and the Bears had a quarterback on the market and couldn't get a fifth. I will forever be mystified at how that goes. But to keep it local, the thing that's important that you get out of the combine is all the business deals, the handshakes, the talking between agents and teams. For the news coming out of the combine for the Bears, Von Dexter, Tremaine Edmonds, Tyson Bagent, and DJ Moore all have trade markets. People are talking to the Bears about trying to get them guys. Q, out of those 4 names, I mean, first, who shocks you the most as having a trade market?
It would be Tremaine Edmonds for the fact that I don't think he had a strong season. I think he makes plays. It's strange because he had a lot of interceptions. I believe he led all linebackers in interceptions, but I don't think he's particularly great in coverage. He understands where to be in zone, and he's long and he reacts well. But as far as man coverage, he's not particularly good. He hasn't been very good in the run game. And not to dog him too much because I think he's an NFL starter at linebacker. But he's getting paid. He's getting paid what you would expect out of a Pro Bowl player at that linebacker position. So that's why it surprises me. And then in addition to that, I think I think even if he isn't traded, he's not going to be on the 2026 Bears regardless. You're gonna be a cap casualty. So that's why I'm surprised he has a trade market because I would think teams would just want to wait for him. But I think the biggest thing with Tremaine is when he's cut, he'll land with the team. And he'll probably, if he has this choice, he'll probably try to go to a contender. So I believe, if teams like the Raiders or, linebacker needy teams who aren't in position to contend this year, if they want Tremaine Edmonds, they would have to trade for him. So maybe that's where the market extends for because I really was shocked that he has a trade market with that contract.
I agree with you. Tremaine Edmonds having it's I don't want to say curious.
And then you're talking about off-ball linebacker, and off-ball linebackers have been devalued over the years. They've become like running backs. You could pick a good one up round 2, 3, or 4. So that's why it's not a premium position. That's what makes it even more shocking with him.
The thing, okay, Tremaine Edmonds, I want to be clear about this. Tremaine Edmonds is still a good player. He's still young, he's still athletic, and he's got a good linebacker body. He has the instincts. But we've said this for over 2 years now. For everything that he's getting paid, and for as good as he is on paper, it doesn't show up on tape. You don't see him making the plays at the line of scrimmage. You don't see him making the plays behind the line of scrimmage. You don't see him making plays anywhere. I mean, he's decent in coverage.
Yes.
He's a good Mike. But when he got injured this season and his backup stepped in, DeMarco Jackson, he jumped off the tape. He jumped off the field.
Especially in run defense, where you would miss Tremaine is, like you said, he's a good player. I don't want to devalue him too much. And I think one of the best aspects of Tremaine won't show up necessarily on film or in the stat sheet because you see the adjustments to the line of scrimmage. He's inexperienced. He's only 27, but I think this is his eighth year. He came into the league at he was drafted at 19. So his first training camp, he was 20 years old, one of the youngest players in the league. So I think a lot of the things that Tremaine does and brings to the table is the experience on the field, being a quarterback on the field, which is cool and all. And I think that's necessary. But I think we just need more production at the linebacker position. And Ryan Pace, one of the things he said at the combine was on defense, they got to get faster. Like you said, he's a decent athlete, but I think they're looking for a little bit more juice at that linebacker position. Because you saw, and you pointed this out a few times, TJ Edwards was absolutely toast in man coverage against running backs. And TJ has great instincts as well. He's another guy who's seen it all, been through the wars, been on good competitive playoff teams. But you see the Vikings continuously, even the Packers have done it. They want to get TJ ISO'd up. They love to get our linebackers ISO'd up against running backs and expose them. So I think we got to get faster at that linebacker position.
I think that's where the Bears can save some money. Tremaine Edmonds, the Mike, you said this, off-ball linebackers have been devalued. I think linebackers in general have been devalued. I don't think there's no necessary reasons to spend a lot of money on that position group. I think you can rotate these guys in. If DeMarco Jackson, and this is no slight to the DeMarco Jackson, no slight. I'm not what I'm about to say is not meant to be in a pejorative. If a guy can step right in and be the green dot and not have been a linebacker or not have been practice team most of the season,
Which I
special
don't think he
teams
was
most
even
of the
in. I
season.
don't think he started off in the off season with the Bears. I think he got
He did not.
yeah.
If he can step in and be green dot and and make an impact, I ain't gonna say successful, but make an immediate
He
impact
did his
in
job.
high stakes and high stakes games, big games, national TV games. I mean, that's the biggest reason right there. Like, hey, we can bring down our financial responsibility in the linebacker room. There's some other players. I'm gonna keep it with the Bears 1 second. So you already said Tremaine Edmonds. I think there's another player who has a trade market that is shocking to me. And it's not because of who he is. It's because of how much reportedly people are willing to pay for him. Tyson Bagent, step down. Come to the front of the room.
I'm not even going to ask questions. Offer me a third or a reported second. I'll pack Tyson's bags myself.
Tyson ain't got to do nothing. He ain't got to do. He can put his hair into a man bun. He can put on his loafers. He can go right to the airport. He ain't got to touch a bag. Me and you, we got that. We pack it all. We gonna put it. We gonna put them stuffs in the box neatly and go take it right to FedEx. Hey, your stuff will be at your new destination as soon as you land,
Good
my
luck.
boy. A third round pick. Brian Pose.
That is an easy pull the trigger. I hope this isn't a thing where Ryan Poles is overthinking or overvaluing or haggling because I don't know if you remember. I know you remember because you absolutely hated the Velas Jones pick from the minute Velas was picked in Chicago. 2 training camps ago, people were offering a pick for Velas, and Poles said no, and had me sipping a little bit of that Kool-Aid. And man, Velas can be a dangerous weapon. And then Velas saw the ball hit him off the face mask in the opening game, and we got nothing for him. Nothing for him. If you can get something for Tyson Bagent, and I know there's a lot of fans that love Tyson Bagent, and you know what? He's grown on me too. I think he's good in the quarterback room. I like the evolution in his game that I've been able to see in the preseason. We have not seen in the regular season because let's be honest, the small sample size we got in the regular season, that guy looks like a third quarterback. What we saw in this 4-game sample size. But here's the thing. Your franchise quarterback is Caleb Williams. Everything goes right. You're not going to see Tyson Bagent again next year. And if you got to see Tyson Bagent for an extended amount of time, guess what? The season's a dud. You're not winning anything. And if Caleb Williams does get hurt, I don't want Tyson Bagent out there. I want somebody out there that's going to get us a top 5 pick. I don't want to win 8 or 9 games. We're not at that point of our rebuild. So we're not rebuilding at all. but there's no reason. There's no reason to be a middling franchise. Shout out to the Bulls. There's no reason to be middling. I would say shout out to the Sox, but they're not even. Lord, shout out Harry and JJ3 because to be able
Don't
to,
shout them out yet. Don't shout them out yet, because what you're finna say has not been proven to be true. I need to see it. I need to see it in the studio first. But go on.
but to be able to cover that team and to put on that smile face every time when you get in front of a mic is just amazing. That is amazing because that team is uninspiring to say the least. But yes, if we're out here,
JJ3 don't smile.
huh? You're right. He doesn't smile.
JJ3 don't smile.
He generally complains. If you remember how Kobe was sitting and celebrating that championship, that would be JJ3 if the White Sox ever win another World Series or the Bears win a Super Bowl. He would sit there angry with the trophy.
You say something that's exactly my sentiments. There is a reason why you want to keep Tyson Bagent around, because in case there is something that goes wrong with Caleb, God forbid he gets hurt or anything like that, you want to have somebody who wants to step in, knows the offense, and can keep the ship afloat. You want somebody who you want continuity in that room more than in any other position room. But no, the fuck we don't. If Caleb gets hurt, it shit's a wrap. Pack it up. Let's start playing for next season. Adam Silver's trying to get rid of tanking in the NBA. We love tanking in the NFL.
If you're not going to be in the playoffs, get a top 10 pick.
Yes, that shit is that is a lottery ticket.
Listen,
you do not give away lottery tickets.
Our last 3 top 10 picks for reference is Colston Loveland, Rome Odunze, Caleb Williams, and Darnell Wright. Our last 4. One is a special quarterback. One is an all-pro tackle. One is one of the brightest tight ends of the game. And Rome Odunze was among the league leaders in touchdown scores until he started getting banged up. If I'm not winning, give me a top 10 pick. I like my odds with the people in Hallis Hall drafting. So, yeah. Now, if Caleb is gone for 2 games, yeah, I'd love to have Tyson Bagent. But you got to look at the value system of a second or third round pick. Those are guys that could be starters in this league. I'm going to take a starter over a guy that we probably won't see every time. Caleb hasn't missed a game. I'm going to gamble on getting an impact player.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we have to make this a discussion, but I've heard.
I don't know why either. I mean, that's exactly what I'm struggling with. Like, Ryan, what are you doing, bro? If these reports are true, bro. See, you mentioned the Bulls. The biggest thing the Bulls messed up. Shout out to Rick and Z, Chicago Bulls podcast. They messed up by not striking when the iron's hot. You didn't trade Kobe and the rest of them when their value was high. Levine too. You let them get hurt, and then you had to take second-round picks, pennies on the dollar. If Tyson Bagent is worth a third right now, you do not let him turn into a Justin Fields. You don't let him turn into a fifth. You don't let Kyler Murray enter the free agent pool before you can trade him off. You don't let Malik Willis get signed before you get rid of Tyson. You make sure Tyson is gone first. You get everybody's best offer now.
Tua and Kyler got to get cut. Nobody's trading for them with those contracts.
Exactly.
And there are a number of teams. I do kind of understand why the trade market is what it is. Tyson is young. Tyson is mobile. Tyson is thought of highly around the league. And he comes from a Ben Johnson offense. And there is a lot of teams who have no idea who's going to be under center next year. I mean, the Jets, no clue. The Steelers, no clue. The Cardinals, no clue. Dolphins, no clue. The Raiders it looks like they're going to draft Fernando Mendoza. The Browns look like they're going to go with Shador, but I don't know if that's a stable situation. There's so many other situations where teams aren't happy with it. Hey, what are the Vikings going to do? Are they going to run it back with J.J. McCarthy? So, yeah, exactly. Strike while the iron is hot. Do not let that value decrease. Next year brings another wave of quarterbacks. And again, what good does a backup serve you? You can't play 2 of them.
And the biggest reason why you want to strike while the iron is hot, and I'm going to just keep it a buck. Again, not as long as you're a Bear, I'm a fan of you. And this is not to be in the pejorative, but we've seen Tyson Bagent play.
And here's the thing. If you see him again and he looks like the Tyson Bagent, you're not going to get any pick for him.
Get rid of him now. Get rid of him.
The 4th round, too low.
No,
That's what I
Q.
said.
We've seen him play. He is not a starting quarterback in this league.
And he
Not at all.
and if I recall, he was undrafted, right?
Yes.
Then you won. All you can do when you take players at the end of the day, every player is an asset because very few are going to retire in this uniform. So what you want to do is you want to get rid of them while their value is highest, if you can. The great Bill Belichick said it's better to get rid of a guy a year too early than a year too late. And if a guy isn't a core member, if he's not a franchise quarterback or a young edge rusher or a young tackle, the best you can do is get more back than what you spent on him. I would take almost any pick for Tyson. Except I wouldn't take a seventh rounder because I feel like what we're not improving the team getting a seventh. I wouldn't take a sixth
Mhm.
rounder, but you could talk me into a fifth. If it's at the top of the fifth, I'll take a fourth.
I'm packing his bags up for a 4. But you know what? Yeah, shout out to Bill Belichick. He's always been smart. He's always been ahead of the curve. Get rid of a player too early than too late. And he does that on the football field, and he's doing it in his personal life. He's getting his baddies years too early rather than years too late. I honor that.
Yeah, smart man.
Other players that's rumored to be on the trade block. Obviously, Max Crosby. We'll talk about that in a second. But in our division, Minnesota Vikings, Javon Hargrave and Aaron Jones, they're going to be traded at some point. They're going to be cut before when the league year starts
If
next
they cut
week,
Javon Hargrave, I'll take a flyer.
easily. But here's the name that can really help us out. Now, Max Crosby, everybody knows the deal with this. We talked about it on 2 episodes already. The Bears are the favorites to get him. I think 2-1. I think they have better odds to get him Max Crosby than the Raiders do right now.
Yeah,
But obviously, the Raiders feel like they can get a Micah Parsons type deal. They are dead set on 2 first rounds and a player.
I don't think they're going to get that.
I I I will hope they don't get it from the Bears.
Not from us. Yeah,
Max Crosby, great football player. I'm gonna leave it at that. Shout out to Tiff. But I am not willing to. I would not be happy if the team gave up 2 firsts and a player for Max
Micah's 4
Crosby.
years younger. By the way, when they made that, Michael's 25. Max will be 29. I can't give you two firsts for a non-quarterback that's 29.
Hmm. Yeah, and coming off knee issues
That
on
too.
top of that, and it speeds up our clock. We are on the Super Bowl clock if you go get Max Crosby, which is not inherently a bad thing. You want to be the hunted. Don't run away from the smoke. However, let's say Ryan Post is listening to this podcast and he says, you know what, you're right. 2 firsts and a player is a bit much for Max Crosby. What about Kayvon Thibodeau out of New York? Word
Go
on the
ahead.
streets is the Giants are listening to trade offers up for him as well. He's a former top 5 draft pick. He's on a strong defensive front with Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, who, in my opinion, both are better pass rushers than Thibodeau. Thibodeau's no slouch. We've played the Giants last year. We saw what type of pressure that all 3 of them guys can cause. They were
Didn't
the Bur-
Darnell
the Gi-
Wright take that guy and
it was
turn?
it was Brian Burns he threw. It
Okay, it
was
was
Brian
Burns.
Burns he
Okay,
threw
I knew it
around.
was.
Yeah,
I think it was two of them. I think he pancaked Abdul Carter
he
too.
did. He
Okay.
did. He hit. I don't know if he did it in that game, but we know he did it in college. He put Abdul through the map. I don't want to say through the matches, but he he beat up Abdul Carter before.
Okay. Yeah, don't say he put him through the mattress. We don't want Darnell being in Epstein files. Release the
Well,
files.
he did put him on an island. He
Yeah.
did put him on an island. So
Okay, he's on the island. Release them files. Who was being freaky on that
please.
island? We need to see who all was being freak. Unredact that stuff. We want to
Mhm.
see who was over there freaky on that island, and they need to be sitting in a cell next to R. Kelly.
Below the R. Kelly
You're
cell.
right. They need to
Below
be in the
that.
basement.
So Thibodeau, his 5th-year option is up this year. Is worth just under $15 million. $15 million. Q. This is a unique situation. So I think 1, obviously, he's cheaper than Max Crosby. 2, he's younger than Max Crosby. 3, I think you can actually make the argument that he's better than Max Crosby. For 1, I think he's more athletic. For 2, he's very good at pass rush and playing a run. It wouldn't take as much to get him from the Giants as it would Max Crosby because he doesn't have
That is the key.
that name cachet. That's the key. It makes all the sense for the Bears and the Giants to be playing, to be in each other's inbox right now, because one, the Bears have a redundancy of talent in a wide receiver room. The Giants could use an actual alpha wide receiver, right? I'm not gonna say any names. The Bears could use pass rushers. The Giants have a redundancy in pass rushers. Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, both are better than Kevin Thibodeau. It makes all the sense for both of them to make this trade. We've seen teams in this league already when they stack up too much talent in one room, put too much financial resources in one room. Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals. We see how that does that equal any type of success on the football field. You got to spread that money out. It makes all the sense in the world for the Bears and the Giants to get this done. DJ Moore has a cap hit of $28 million. Kevin Thibodeau coming in for $15 million on a fifth-year option. For somebody at Kevin Thibodeau's, at this point in his career, he's not demanding $30 million a year. Not at his spot. So what do you think his AA?
Kayvon is coming off a down year where he ended the season on injured reserve. He's now this year will be 3 seasons removed from his 11.5 sack season. So, the NFL is a league where what have you done for me lately? Now, in Kayvon
Mhm.
Thibodeau's defense, he is, like you said, he's extremely athletic. He is 6'5". The arms were at the combine 33 and 1/8. Wingspan 6'7", ran a 4.58 40. Broad jump 9 feet 11. This guy's a tremendous athlete. Bench press 27 times. So, being that he's a first round pick, he has been a starter his entire career, but he's underperformed. You're going to be looking at a contract north of what Dale signed and a little bit south of what Montez Sweat signed. So if you were to re-sign him, I think a fair would be, I think Dale got 55 and Montez got like 95 to 100. You're gonna be looking at about 70 million for Kayvon if you sign him to a long-term deal. Now, maybe Kayvon, being 25, wants to say, hey, give me, I got the fifth year, you're picking that up. Maybe extend me a year or two after that and let me back onto the open market before 28, where you can cash in on a longer deal, and get some of that new TV money and get a 5-year deal. So with Kayvon, I think maybe you have him play on that 1 year, that fifth year, and prove it. Or if you want to sign him immediately after you trade him, you offer him 70 to 80 million. That's up to him whether he wants to bet on himself and go back into the free market or get what he's worth. But that's what I would predict his worth would be. And as far as trade value, um, we know the Giants want to move on from him. We know they have to move on from him. We also know bringing in a new front office. With new head coach, what is the first thing most head coaches and most GMs want to do when they get to a new team? They want to get their guys in there, or they want to get guys that fit their philosophy. How do you get that? Free agency and the draft, particularly the draft. So you got to think that Harbaugh does want to get more picks. So I think you can get Thibodeau on a discount, third or fourth round pick for him. I've heard some people suggest even maybe a fifth rounder. Hey, if they want a fourth or fifth, for me, that's a no brainer. I could be talked into a third. Maybe you give me back a future fifth or sixth. I mean, the upside is there.
Dude, trade it now. Get that third. Get New York on the phone and bring Buddy in. You can have this third we just got for Tyson. In fact, in the NFL, they owe us a third, so we gonna get that from
They
them
own
because
two
we
thirds.
appealing that. They owe us 2/3. We gonna get that from them. We appealing it. We gonna win that because the
Pace
fuck.
didn't help with all field. He got to stop talking. Did you hear what he said at the combine? Ocho and
What'd
Shannon
he
got on
say?
him today about it. He finds it strange that the NFL has the deal for minorities getting hired. And he said, I know the Chiefs got picks for me, but he finds it strange. And that was just an odd comment to make about those picks. So yeah,
Mm.
Shannon and Ocho got on him a little bit. So I don't know if Pace was saying that he needs to clarify those comments. I don't know if he was trying to make a all lives matter type thing, but Shannon and Ocho said it's strange that the NFL doesn't have more minorities in a position of authority in NFL. So we got to talk to Pace about that. Like, what did you mean?
Pose.
Sorry.
Okay. We gonna get them picks. I am confident that the NFL gonna say, you know what, we messed up. We gonna run you them picks. And then we gonna run them picks right to New York. And we gonna get Kevin Thibodeau and we gonna get him for a contract that's cheaper than DJ Moore is on right now. And that's how it all works out, Q.
Are you in Atlanta right now?
Yes.
You need to march down there to the Falcons headquarters and tell them cut the crap. Because Ian Cunningham, Ian Cunningham is your GM. Just stop it. Just stop with the Matt Ryan stuff. Matt Ryan ain't done nothing in nobody's front office at all. And you gonna tell me, come on, man, close that loophole. I need you to march down there right now. Get off this podcast and tell the Falcons cut the crap, and we need our 2/3 from the league.
I'm gonna go right over there to Flowery Branch and holler at them right after the Magic City game on Monday. I'm on that. I'm putting that right on my list.
Please do. Don't get distracted down there in Magic City either.
But here, you mentioned this is where you would see a potential contract would be in between Montez Sweat and Dayal. So Montez Sweat, for just for reference, he signed a 4-year, $98 million contract with the Bears. His base salary is $20,900,000. Workout bonus would take him over to 21,000. Take him over to 21 million. His cap hit is $25 million. Dead cap at $8 million on the third league day, which is next week. $1 million of that salary becomes fully guaranteed. So if the Bears decided, they want actually any of the things that we're talking about is not up their alley, and they want to actually do something real freaky and create some cap space. And, Montez Sweat, his name has been bandied out there a little bit. So, stay tuned.
I don't think we're in a position to lose Montez yet. I know Bears Nation gets down on him because, we want him to be an elite pass rusher. Montez is still a very effective player. But another double-digit sack season. And actually, that contract isn't looking that bad anymore. You said 20. Yeah, that's not bad at all. 21 million for a guy giving you double-digit sacks. That's about the going rate.
So out of the players I named, in fact, if I didn't name anybody, is anybody else out there that's may become available that you would be interested in for the Bears?
There are guys that become available that I would like in a rotation. Like, I wouldn't mind bringing back Khalil Mack to give me some snaps, provided that, it's on a veteran discount. I wouldn't mind Bradley Chubb providing some depth. Guys that come in and give you 20 or 30 snaps. Veteran guys, they know how to play. They can still hold up well against the run. They can give you some pass rush. I wouldn't mind a Khalil Mack or a Bradley Chubb. I know Jalen Phillips has a lot of ability, but I don't know. He's just a guy that you're going to pay a lot for him, and you haven't seen a lot yet out of him, if that makes sense. So, do you want to pay this guy because he's on the free agent market? He's around 26, former first round pick. Do you want to pay this guy because the NFL is all about setting the market, resetting the market? Do you want to pay a guy whose agent is probably going to be asking for him to be paid around what Montez Sweat is making, maybe a little more? Do you really want to pay a guy like that much money when you haven't seen a complete season of high level pass rushing? We've seen it in spurts out of Jalen Phillips, but we haven't seen it to that level where there was a reason why Miami traded him. Teams don't give up young edge rushers unless they can't pay them or they're stupid. They can't pay them, they're stupid, or they're rebuilding. And Miami, yeah, they're rebuilding, but you see the Browns haven't given up on Garrett, and they're in a perpetual state of rebuild. So edge rushers, those are guys you hang on to. So Jalen, would he be an upgrade over Austin Booker? Probably. But does he outplay Austin? But enough where, he takes over that edge rushing spot opposite of Montez and gives us the pass rush we need? I don't know. I mean, Austin Booker right now is a much better value. you're in year 3 of the Booker experience, and this guy has been able to start for you, and he's getting paid under $1 million. A Chain is a very interesting name that's been bandied about. I don't know if the Dolphins will really trade him. We know the Dolphins are rebuilding, retooling. You bring in a new coach. Tua's going to be gone. You're not in a position to draft a franchise quarterback because there's really only one name that's associated with being a franchise quarterback in the upcoming draft. Could Devon A. Chain be had? Yeah, and it might be a little costly. If there's one running back that I'd be willing to send a second or third for, it's that guy. Listen, I know you're. Listen, years ago, me and you both scratched our heads. I think we were recording that draft live when the Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs at 14. He has been worth every bit of 14 when he was in the Ben. He was productive last year, but in the last year of Ben Johnson, he was extremely explosive. Just imagine Devon A. Chain, who's actually a tick faster than Jahmyr Gibbs in a Ben Johnson scheme. That could be ugly. That could be that.
I made that face for a couple of reasons. Second round pick for linebacker for a running back.
I get why you made
That's
that
one.
face. I get it. I
But there's
totally
another
agree.
one.
I mean, that'd be one of those where, God forbid, he gets hurt. you're gonna you're gonna want to
And he's done that before.
fire me and Pose. Me for suggesting and Pose for executing.
Another thing is, yeah, the Lions did just trade Montgomery, but there's a thing in the NFL about re-signing your own running backs. And Jahmyr Gibbs is going to command top of the market type money
Oh,
as a running
he's
back.
ready to cash out a lot. He's gonna be heading into this. Is gonna be year 4 for him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time to talk. He's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
at that table right now.
Oh, they are. And I do know that Brad Holmes, general manager for the Detroit Lions, he likes to re-sign his own guys. But that guy might be the guy that they say, you know what, we're gonna take our chances doing this all over again in the draft. You never know. You
Do-
never know.
Are you in the
So if we
camp?
give up a second for A-Chan
You got to
and then
sign.
Jahmyr Gibbs comes available next year,
Yeah. Are you in the camp of how do you feel about giving running backs that second contract?
you got to be special. And when I say special, I mean Adrian Peterson level special
Saquon,
because
Gibbs, those type guys.
I'm not even putting Saquon in that conversation because Saquon, I'd have told him get the road. I would have said I would have been just like the Giants. I'd have had egg on my face. Yes, but there has been no reason I'm giving you a contract. All you did was sit in the IR the whole time you was on my
That,
squad.
I mean, here's the thing. I know people like to say the Giants had egg on their face. What would Saquon have changed about the Giants?
Nothing.
Except for put them deeper in a cap hole. There was no reason. Saquon ended up where he was at, and that was a good fit for him, the best fit possible. He could have went back to the Giants and been a 1,300-yard runner, and that would have been disappointing because they would have still won 5 games. There was no reason for the Giants to re-sign him. I think the stupid thing was when they went and talked about it, they sounded like asses. They sounded like asshats talking about Saquon and Daniel Jones. But they didn't do the wrong thing. They executed wrong, as both teams from New York did, because you should have traded him when he had value. There was no reason to let him leave for nothing in free agency. That was the flaw that the Giants had, but there was nothing Saquon could have did for that team.
I agree, man. Not at all. I'd have let bro Walt and been happy with it. I'd have tried to trade him, but money more than quarterbacks. It is what it is. All right. So we did all this talking about how the Bears can improve themselves in the offseason, primarily doing trades, primarily during free agency acquisitions. We got a little creative, but the best way to improve your team, to make it a consistent contender, is to do it in the draft. Q, the first step of the NFL draft for the next era of players is already in the books, the NFL Combine. You love this time of the year. You love Senior
I
Bowl.